How to automate effects on group tracks in Ableton Live Session View. It's possible now via a few Max for Live devices of mine. Hi, I'm Toby from abletondrummer.com. So Ableton Live Session View is really cool, and you can set up clips to automate effect parameters. So if you trigger a scene in Ableton Live, this can change audio effects or MIDI effects or whatever instruments on the current track. But on group tracks, where we have like several tracks inside, we can't set clips on those. So on the first track here, which is a MIDI track, you can see we can set a clip via double clicking. Let's say we call this a dummy clip. That's a naming convention here for automating things, just using a clip to automate stuff. It's called dummy clip. But on the group track, we can't set clips here. So if we have audio effects on here or different effects, well, mainly audio effects on group tracks actually, we want to be able in session view to change those parameters here, and this is now possible via those Max for Live devices. So let's quickly set this up. Let's say we want to have the reverb to be turned on and turned off depending on which scene we are firing. So let's set this up. Let's set up a clip where we say reverb on, and let's set up a clip where we say reverb off. Oops, Command R, reverb off. So what we want to make sure, if we're just switching, turn the loop off. So those devices are sitting on a MIDI track here, because it's really easy to just create a MIDI clip via double clicking on an empty clip slot. And now we can put the automation we want to use into this MIDI clip here to automate the reverb on the group track here. So now we want to use the first device, which is a button device here, and it's just on and off, really easy to set up. So now we need to map the on and off button here we have on the device to the reverb on and off we are using in our group track here, to this button. So you just need to hit map, then you go to the group track, and then you select the button, the parameter you want to automate here. So let's use the mixing chain button, the chain button mixer on and off button here. So I touched this after I selected the map button here, and now this is being mapped. So it says speakers on, so I might want to set this to a custom name. So custom naming means you want a distinctive and a name in your automation view in the envelope section of the clips here, which are clear to use. So let's name this device. You just select the top header here, Command R, or right click rename, and then let's say reverb switch. Now this name, and this is pretty cool, is showing up in the envelope section of the clips where you want to automate the reverb for your group track. So if we select one clip here, we go to the envelope section, and then we need to select the device we are using here, because the device we just called this reverb switch, and we have the button here, and now we have an on and an off. We want to set this to on. So you just go, oh, actually we are on the right clip here, and this one needs a parameter on the off. You just need to select the right device, the button, and then have a parameter breakpoint, set a breakpoint here on this, and if you want to have this dynamically on and off, you can then define the breakpoint here to get rid of those breakpoints. Okay, so now if we are on the melody group track, and if we are firing scene 3 here, let's make some space. If we are firing scene 3 here, this will trigger all the clips which are in the scene. So this means it will trigger the reverb on clip here. I want to view my devices. So if I now reverb on, it is on. If I now trigger the next scene, you can see as soon as this is running, reverb is being turned off. Let's do this once more. We trigger the reverb on, and this way you are able to automate switches, buttons, effects on and off on your group tracks. So let's do this with parameters where we have maybe a volume here. So for the volume, depending on how detailed you want to go, let's say you just want to use a little bit, add in a little bit more juice. So let's say we are at -6 and we want to go up to 0 or around 0, just to have some, give it a little bit more juice, the reverb at this point here. So we want to use a different device, which is, or we actually have two devices. We have one for automating values, so not only an on and off switch, but automating values on your return tracks in Ableton Live Session View. So we have one which has 128 steps, which is this one here, and we have one which goes for a higher resolution. Let's do the 128 steps first because it explains what's happening here quite well. So first we need to map the parameter, obviously, so we hit map. So now map is waiting for us to touch a different parameter. So let's touch the volume assign here for this chain, for the reverb chain. So now if we go back to our track, we can see chain volume. Let's call this reverb volume. Let's make sure we activate custom name because we want to use a custom name. If you have more devices in here, it just really makes sense to have custom naming settings because then you know what you are going for. So for example, we could even say the track here, I'm automating the group track is called melody group. So let's call this melody reverb volume. So this is actually the name which now shows up, melody reverb volume, and we have the value parameter here. So now it is a little bit confusing for, or no, not so confusing, but what we actually have now is we have value 0 up to value 128, so this is going up quite high, the view here, but we have actually a parameter which has -70 to +6 if I'm right, yeah. So this is actually a bit confusing because it's not showing you the values of the map parameter on the automation here. It's showing you value 0 to 128. So how do we translate this? And the device helps us with that because we can actually open up this view here and we can see which value is actually triggering which dB. So if we have just a fine scaling here and we have a few more steps, we could go to the value which is the closest to -6. I just made up this example to say let's go from -6 up to 0 and put in those values here. So the values we are seeing here are now the values we are getting. We could actually go to the device here as well, or to the parameter as well, and set this up to -6, and then click on the device to say get current value, and it will tell us the value we need to use for -6 dB, which is 89. So 89 would be -5.968, pretty close to -6 in my opinion. So let's put in this. So let's say we have a value here, breakpoint already, added value, right click, 89. So this clip here now will trigger -6. Let's put this in. And let's set up another clip, melody volume value, and let's say we want to set this up to around 0. Put in the value, getting the value, get current value 108, and as we can see already 108 will trigger 0.016 dB. Pretty close as well. 108, okay, 0 dB, but we need to set 108 here on this automation line here on this envelope. 108, yes, am I right? 108, yes. Cool. So what we want to do now is, we have a few more things here. You can actually check those values in here as well if you want to. So you have 3 options here to actually grab the value you need to automate. So let's have a look how well this worked. So we are on the melody group and we want to watch this parameter down below here. So if I trigger this scene here, which has the -6 automation, it's jumping to -6, well, -5.96, pretty close. And then we want to trigger the next one, which will trigger the 0. And there we are, 0.16. Okay, cool. So this is a way on how you would, it would be the same scaling like if you would use a MIDI controller, because a MIDI controller, a dial, would, in 95% of the use cases, would put out a 0 to 127 value anyway. So if you want to write in automations and if you were happy with that up to that point, we can do this actually in a clip here. Let's have another clip just running. Just want to show you, you can actually use this for recording automations you're doing via your MIDI controller. So if I set up this dial here to this number box here, I'm now putting in this automation via my MIDI controller, and you can see this MIDI is now being recorded into this track here. A few more breakpoints. So if you do a nice filter sweep or just more dynamic stuff here, you can use this technique here, and you want to use the 128 steps or 0 to 127 steps device here. And you can see now on the melody group, this automation is being applied to the volume fader here. So now there is a third device. It's quite a long video, but once you understand the whole technique here, it just makes sense to go that deep. So we have this one set up here as well, which is the third device. So we had a button, we had 128 steps, and now for some parameters and for some people who might be a bit more picky about values, we have actually a value scaling of 0 to 1023. So we actually have 1024 steps. So let's take the same parameter here to show you that this is now going much finer. So if we map, hit map, go to the melody group, let's select the reverb here as well, the reverb volume of this chain in the mixer device. Now we get all those values here, and it's automatically scanning the values, and we can see, because we have a much higher resolution now of 1024 steps, we are actually able to access a lot more values. So what was our example was -6 to 0, and we have a lot of values here, so you might not want to go through those, but use the get current value here. So if we go to the device, we put in -6, that's a value we want to being scaled to here. Get current value 716. Let's have a look if that's really will hit it. 716. If I scroll down, the values are at the after this 716 value. Boom. -6.004. It's more accurate, still 004 dBs off, but you get the idea. This is actually now being translating to the different values in a much finer grid here. So just quickly, if we set this up 716, we could actually do this much quicker. 716, I could set this up here, 716. So now when I go to this here, it's on 716 already, because I set this up on this box here. So now we want to go to 0. Let's do this on another clip just to keep things clean. Melody group, we go to 0. No, 0. 0, we go back to the device, get current value 870. If we type in 870 in here, and on our clip, the envelope already is on 870 because it follows BOM. So there we are. So now let's have a look. Excited now how close that's gonna go. Minus 6.004. And now if I trigger the next clip, as soon as this clip is running, the dummy clip will change it to 0.018. So it's pretty close, as you have a parameter here with so detailed different value steps here. This is the closest you can get with 1024 scaling, which already is very accurate. Cool, so those are devices, Max for Live devices. Max for Live is included in Ableton Live Suite and or can be bought as an add-on towards Ableton Live Standard. You need to have Max for Live to make use of Max for Live devices from third parties, like me, and then you can get the devices if you follow the link in the video description below. Take care, bye bye.